Hello everybody and welcome to this very special episode of Off the Battlefield, hosted by myself, Skrull from Newcastle.
And me, Lorenzo from London.
And the reason we wanted to make this special sort of episode of the podcast, which we're going to be calling 2.5 as a sort of play on Project M 3.5, the reason we wanted to make this is because 3.5 brings around massive changes for this game, almost to the point of it being a new game, and it's really interesting to talk about and look at. So, guys, we have two very special guests. So, guys, if you would like to introduce yourself.
What's good, everybody? I'm Silent Doom, one of the lead animators for Project M. Been in the team for the past 3 years now, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of work. Also, Sonic and Olimar main.
Alright, cool. And Alex, if you want to jump in, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm R23. I main Kirby and PM, play some Donkey Kong and Lucas as well, and one of the top 10 PM players in the UK, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't dispute that.
Alright, guys, shall we dive into it then? So, I think the first thing that really needs to be talked about is how sort of the main base of the game, like some of the movement and some of the options that you have for like recovery and all that, have been massively changed, I think, from 3.02.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing, of course, is just like recoveries on the whole are being dumbed down a bit. Tethers as well. Like the game already, because 3.02 had this, if not issue, then just like one of the main features of it was the fact that with certain characters, stocks could go on for a very long time, depending on if you had a good recovery and good DI, you could be holding on for a long time. And this just looks like, from what I've had limited time with the game so far. I've spent a few hours today just looking over changes in training mode, and I feel that it's like most of the characters have just hopefully it's gonna make stocks a bit faster. At least it's gonna make certain characters, thankfully mine as well. Marth's gonna have less trouble killing and edge guarding and so on. So
I think it's been made a lot easier for a lot of characters. All the characters that have good edge guarding, I think, are gonna benefit from this patch a lot, just because you don't have to basically cover 3 recoveries. You can just cover the 1 or 2 options they have instead of, they can do this stall and then they can do another stall, and you have to watch out for this move as well, and then they do their recovery fine, then you haven't got anything off the getting them off stage.
Cough Mario.
Mario's a big one, I think. This Sonic, I was playing around some Sonic earlier, and he seems like he's been hit by it a bit as well.
One thing
that's partially why characters like Jigglypuff won't change that much, because her off-stage game is going to work so much better now because everyone's recoveries were
that's one thing
worse.
I wanted to make a comment of, was because in 3.02 I think a lot of the melee characters originally struggled because the stuff that made them good in melee, like their gimping potential and the off-stage potential, had sort of been made a bit sort of redundant by all these characters having really good options for recovery, like Mario having incredible recovery. That Jigglypuff was sort of like nullified by everyone being able to just go straight over her and back onto the stage. And that's one thing that I think has been really good about that, how they've made the gimping potential and the sort of off-stage potential just better in general. And so it's going to be a lot easier to kill some characters. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. From what I can see, also glide tossing has been nerfed. So
it feels a lot worse. Like I was playing with I was trying some Toon Link, and their recoveries just feel so much weaker for that.
Yeah, I believe there's a decay on it now. So each time, there's a 10% decay on it now. So each time you use an aerial glide toss, it decays in distance.
Also, the air dodges have been changed as well, I think. So
they feel definitely more like melee. Like wave dashing today, like the first thing I was like, because people were like, ice climbers have a massive change. I was like, okay, first thing I want to test is movement. So I picked up ice climbers. I was like, it feels so much like melee. Like the air dodge has almost been made to feel exactly like it was in melee. And so wave dashing is, I don't think easier, but more accessible for people to learn, I would say.
Yeah, you get sort of more out of the same technique. Like everyone who does it already is going to do, like, if you can wave dash, you can wave dash, but like, you're going to be able to get more distance, more practical applications out of it.
Yeah, he'll be able to lead into a lot more stuff, and it'll really affect the neutral game as well, and that'll be really, really good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one of the other sort of, well, if I'm just talking about, if we're still talking about like big changes,
Yeah, go for it.
then I mean the other like big things are sort of changing. Like everyone's got a Dacus now. That's one of the things.
That's interesting. That's an interesting change, I think.
Yeah, it's like it depends on the character whether it's going to have some usability. Really.
Yeah.
I mean,
some characters have really solid ones. Like I know Fox, Sheik, and Meta Knight will have really solid ones now.
Wario will have a really solid one as well.
I think I've seen Sheik's one. It doesn't have much. It doesn't have a massive amount of range, or maybe it's been changed since I last saw it.
Has it been changed from the one in Brawl where she sort of goes halfway across FD with every single dash?
It's nowhere near as long as.
Oh, okay.
all the Daxes were enough. I mean, you remember Snakes from Brawl? Like it's nothing like that, you know. So
I remember Snake's Dacus from Brawl. That was an interesting design choice.
That was silly.
Yeah, but no, it'll mean it's interesting. Yeah, the idea of obviously these melee characters having Daxes because ones that like for Fox, it's a really nasty thing because that's his kill move. So it's going to be just one extra tool, which is, I mean, we can talk about like what we think is going to happen. I mean, obviously it's too early to sort of talk about to have much of an idea of what a tier list is going to look like, but we can certainly have an idea of who's sort of moving in which direction for later on, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, and just moving on to, I think, if we go to the other one of the biggest global changes is if you want to call it a change, like just an addition. I mean, because I've had some this is one of the things I obviously have had some experience with because all I've had so far is training mode, but debug mode is awesome.
Yeah, debug is
so
really cool. So useful. So useful.
I haven't touched it yet, but it does look pretty good.
I mean, I was just looking at hitboxes earlier, and I was just thinking this is really, really interesting.
It'll add a new level of like training as well, because you won't only have the ability to be like, you know, train with someone being like, okay, let's just go and check frames on like Smash Boards, and I'll be like, okay, let's just press this button, and oh, look at that, all the frames, and it is going to, you know, really help with training and stuff, because now you'll be able to, you know, learn how much you need to space a move or how much you need to go in with a move. It's a really interesting change, I think.
So can you show it like frame by frame then, or is it like
you can
just show hitboxes?
I think
you can do both.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's the idea of like if you talk about other sort of fighting games where frame perfection is like a serious thing. Obviously, you have one frame links and so on. Then the addition of debug mode. I mean, obviously, you know, the 20XX era and all that. Like Smash is getting to that level where people are striving to make their moves frame perfect. And it's very, very difficult, especially in a game like this. But it's probably going to. It's just another way to sort of help develop the metagame, because people are gonna if certain like monsters are gonna get into that training mode and grind, and
it's really gonna be about who uses it and how they use it essentially, and that's gonna be the most interesting. Yeah,
MTK is gonna use it a lot.
He's gonna have a field day on that. He's gonna have an absolute field day. Whether I actually like the game or not, that's a different question entirely. But we'll talk about that later on. So,
it's got Brawl MK, so
yeah,
you might
that's another thing we'll talk about. Because
it was also incredibly useful just for developing the game, because like it allowed us to see hitboxes in game exactly how they were in game. Because before we had to use Brawl Box and it was a bit awkward, but now it's a lot more useful just being able to see everything properly.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So was it one of the earlier things you developed then before you started working with balancing?
It wasn't that early. Well, we've had it for a while, but it wasn't extremely early. We were working on balancing stuff, but it just came about during the development of 3.5.
Alright, cool. So, gentlemen, should we jump into characters then?
Yeah, why not?
How do you
Wait,
want to go for
there was one more change that we didn't talk about.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry about that.
Footstools now. You can't footstool on shield, and the footstool heights have been reduced.
I don't think that's really a major thing for most characters, except for characters with double jump cancels, because like Ness could make a lot of use out of footstool and shield, double jump cancels.
You'd be surprised, because the footstool height has been reduced enough, so a lot of characters can actually capitalize on footstools now.
Oh, so it's better overall for the entire cast, really, rather than just characters who have this
Yeah,
double jump against. Oh, that's cool.
It's also, I mean, I don't think I'm glad that it now doesn't push a character out of shield, because I mean that's not good. Like it makes the option slightly too dangerous, really. If you're I mean, it isn't used that I have not seen it used very often in, say, neutral, but like it shouldn't be another way to get an opponent out of their shield. Like if you want to use it for pressure, fair enough, but it shouldn't be like insta pressure on its own, in my opinion. So yeah.
All right, cool. So characters then.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go through these. So Bowser, we'll go through them alphabetically, or at least try to. So Bowser, I don't think anything major really happened to Bowser except for a couple of his moves either got buffed, or they got some of them had some of the silly things, some of the sillier things taken away.
So what sort of silly things got taken off of Bowser?
I'm just having a look, like some of the.
One thing I like to say just about Bowser quickly is that I like the fact that, obviously, I mean, I once tried playing Bowser for a couple of weeks, and he's kind of fun. But one of the things I do like that they've changed is that they've reduced the his jump squat time.
Oh my god, I was going to say that. I love it so much. It's so much fun to move around now.
Because now you can actually wave dash. You can wave dash with them now. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things I was going to talk about actually, that you can actually wave dash with them. Because I was like looking at it going, oh, so that means you can wave dash.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Pretty much anyway, but like it wasn't great. It wasn't that useful. But now it's like, even though it's only 2 frames, it feels a lot faster. You can just shuffle around this character.
Well, yeah, I mean, because what is it? Most characters are 4, aren't they?
Right? Most characters go on 4.
Yeah,
like,
3 or 4.
The Mario brothers and the Fire Emblem characters go on 5, and then you still got Falco goes on 6. Ganon used to go on 6, but he's been changed as well. And then Bowser's like way above everyone else, and he's like 8.
Yeah, he was
the only character that takes that long.
It felt so weird when I first started playing. I'm like, why can't I wave dash? So anyway, that's quite nice.
Yeah, I don't think anything else massive happened to Bowser, to be honest with you.
A lot of it's just little.
Yeah, it's just tweaks. It's just little tweaks to his moves, to be honest with you.
No huge changes to him.
Yeah,
he still feels kind of the same.
Except now he's just slightly faster. Yeah. All right. So,
which is actually kind of interesting, because we were thinking of changing Bowser quite a bit. I won't say how, but in the end we decided. We decided not to.
It's out now. You guys don't need to keep secret.
No, we do.
You always got to keep secrets.
Alright, so next up on the list we've got Captain Falcon. Again, I don't think anything really happened to him except he got slightly faster. I think that's the case for most of these for a few of these characters. Nothing massive happened to them, but
it's melee characters primarily.
Yeah, melee characters primarily didn't really have. Well, the melee higher tiers didn't really have anything really massively done to them, except for a few, which we'll talk about when it comes to that.
Well, it's the fact that the game is. This patch
faster, yeah.
No. This patch is moving towards melee. Like, it feels more like melee. I was speaking to Jin. Shoutouts to him earlier, and he was on my chat, and
Jin's
he was.
Win.
Yeah, he was saying that he thinks it feels more like melee. So,
yeah,
I think it's if for that reason, like there shouldn't be too much reason to muck about with the melee high tiers, because that's the direction the game's supposed to be going in, really.
Exactly.
I think.
And I honestly don't think there was anything massive that's really happened to Falcon.
They made the Falcon kick a bit worse from the looks of it.
Oh, thank God! That was what I was about to say, because I hate that move.
You can't just use that in new training. Well, the character's still the same.
Yeah,
he's still Falcon. He'll be better for everyone else being worse, sort of thing. I think that's how it's going to be with a lot of the characters. They're just better because everyone else is worse.
Yep, proxy buffs.
Pretty much. Okay, so next up, Charizard.
I'd like to instantly put a shout out to whoever came up with that costume design is awesome. Like that,
it is so cool.
The Charizard ult is so sick.
It's so
cool. It looks super cool.
Yeah, shout outs to Jang on the art team. He was the one who designed it based on, I believe, a costume from like the Lucario Pokemon film.
Oh, nice.
That's
I've
pretty
seen
cool.
it.
I'm gonna get to Lucario's custom in a bit because that's awesome as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a sick costume.
Yeah,
Shank,
other than-
shouts to you.
Yeah, other than adding, an alt, again, it's just little tweaks to him, to be honest with you. I don't think...
Yeah, it's just a lot of numbers on the... Like, looking at the changelog, it's just a lot of numbers.
It's just frames and
a
such.
couple of frames here, a couple of frames there.
The Nair's not as centralizing.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
not?
it's been nerfed a bit.
Oh, it
So they've made
has,
the
hasn't it? Okay.
They made the node worse.
Landing lag's been increased. There's now a collision box on it, which is, I think, good, because that move just takes up half the stage if you use
So
it.
the collision box, does that just mean you can hit him out of it, or...
Yeah, I
the-
think so. I think that's what it... I think so.
Does he still hit under platforms with it? Is-
I will have to have a quick read now. Initial reverse hit flare.
Don't
I think maybe, because it just seems... Well, actually, it depends, to be honest with you, because it looks like the hitbox has just been slightly changed, but I'm not really too sure. I don't think so.
Alright.
Yeah, he can. I'm literally testing it right now on WarioWare, and I've been able to.
Oh, fair enough then. Well,
Because that is it's an interesting move now. It's very very strong.
Super good.
anyway, moving swiftly along, unless anyone has anything else to say about Charizard in regards
Not
to the
really.
character.
Final Smash is pretty cool.
Too much.
Oh yeah, all the Pokemon trainer characters. So Charizard, Squirtle, and Ivysaur now have their own Final Smash, which is cool.
Yeah,
Charizard's animated by me.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
That was pretty hype, dude. You know what? For some reason, like I had it on debug mode when I tried it, and I'm like, the hitboxes were pretty hype. if you try it with the hitboxes on, they're huge. They're gigantic.
That's nice.
Final Smash animation hitboxes are always really huge.
Yeah.
I should debug mode some Final Smashes now
That'd be hype.
just for a laugh.
That would be hype. Okay, so next up we've got Dedede. Again,
Feel good.
minor changes to be honest with you, except for one which was just like waddle dash has increased friction, which
So worse recovery again. They've nerfed the recovery, right?
yeah, pretty
So
much.
that just means you can't get back like using the water rush to get across.
Essentially,
Okay.
yeah, essentially.
Oh, I think they've nerfed the RB as well, haven't they?
Yes, they have, because it's flash overlay at startup to denote knockback armor, so you'll be able to see, when the armor is up and when it's finished.
That's useful. It's not like a nerf, is it? It's just like
Yeah, it's just,
more
it's just
knowledge
like-
to the players.
It's a thing for people fighting DDD, so it's like, okay, this is when it starts, this is when it's over, pretty much that.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah, and it's just, other than that, it just depletes all jumps. Landing stars have been slightly enlarged, and landing stars have now 50 knockback instead of 60, which is just, you're not gonna get knocked back from getting hit by the stars off of it.
It's deplete. Now it says it depletes all jumps, but I mean, can you even jump out of it? Like,
You can't jump out of it, but you can just like cancel it.
You can
at the
cancel it
top.
so you can grab ledges, but that's it.
yeah, I know that. Like you can do that in Brawl.
Other than that, no, you can't jump out of it. No.
Okay. Anyway, it's still it's a very linear recovery, so I didn't think it needed much nerfing anyway. Really, like
Yeah, he was not so great in the previous patch. Like a lot of people thought he was one of the weaker characters, even though he got like Flower and Nita got top 8 Apex with him, and someone at I don't know who it was, but someone at Big House got top 8 with him.
oh, I think it was Ripple.
Riddle? Yeah.
Ripple.
Yeah,
Ripple, that's it.
Yeah, I think
Samus.
it was-
Yeah, so the character's obviously not bad.
Yeah.
So not if he's not getting much changes and everyone else is getting worse.
It's people who have some people put more time into a character than other people do. So it's like, if someone puts like 5 minutes in, like, oh, this character's bad, because they never really look into how this character works. But
It also, I mean, one thing, if you've got a player with very strong fundamentals, then some of these characters, because I think the sad thing, because I think quite a few PM players will just rely on their character strengths rather than learning
Exactly. And
what.
speaking of character strengths, we're going to move swiftly on into Diddy Kong, who has had a fair few changes.
Oh wow!
Which
Yes.
I think is what is to be brutally honest with you. I think this is what's best for this character, because Diddy Kong in all versions of Smash, I think, has been very, very irritating. From Brawl to even in Smash 4 now, he's a very irritating character, and I think that I don't think nerfing him, but taking editing him to make him more fair is good. And
Yeah.
now there are a lot of changes to damages, a lot of changes to knockback. He's got some of his hitbox sizes slightly increased and slightly decreased, which I think is definitely needed.
Yeah, I was playing around with his character quite a bit earlier because I think he was one of the more controversial characters of 3.02,
Yes,
like especially on the
definitely.
Xanadu streams. Every other player is a Diddy Kong mainer,
Yes.
and
indeed.
like he still feels good, but he feels a lot more sensible now. Like the bananas aren't everything; he can only have one of them out.
Thank God.
And-
Thank God.
I'm glad they didn't complete. I got to play like a version before 3.5 came out, and there was one version. The version I played, Diddy Kong was completely gutted. Like his bananas did nothing. So I'm glad they sort of kept in. You can still use them. He's still like a decent character. He's just not centralized around bananas and.
Yeah,
ridiculous
I
stuff.
haven't played enough like Smash 4 to know
He's
what
very
he's
good.
like,
He's
but
very,
Yeah, in
very
Smash
No,
4
no.
he's really good.
No, I know, but I mean, like, it just sort of feels like it's veering towards that direction. The fact that basically he's relying on fundamentals rather than jank. Like he's got really just good, he's got good moves, but he's not relying on the banana game nearly as heavily. Because I mean, from what I saw, like yes, the recovery's been nerfed. Like it charges up only half the time. Although it's still really good recovery. Like I was still jumping off stage and going, yeah, I can get back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
but you can't get back from the blast zone with it anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as stupid as
The
that.
days
Also,
of the days of Deep Kong are over.
yeah.
Yeah, Deep Kong's gone.
It falls faster as well, doesn't it? So it's a nerfed recovery, but like
Yeah.
his aerials are better, aren't they?
Except
And,
forward air. His forward air is worse.
Yeah.
His forward air was ridiculous before
doesn't have
though.
this-
Yeah,
stupid
his
angle.
forward air was very, very good. It
They
was
said you're like a
very
better
good.
angle than Sheik forward air.
Yeah, that was kind of.
It now has a normal angle.
It has a normal angle. Does it have the same angle now? Sorry.
No, it's a different angle. It hits slightly more upwards instead of the low angle it hit before.
Alright, yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah, because it's like a pseudo. It's just bye.
Good.
The Nair's better though.
Cool.
Although I've never seen it. I've rarely seen a
I've never
Diddy use a
seen
Nair.
a Diddy
Yeah.
Kong use a Nair in my entire life, but hopefully they'll have to use it now because it's more notable.
Yeah.
So-
The side B's been nerfed as well, I think, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
side B's been a lot of Diddy Kong's moves have been nerfed
Oh.
to the point where they're mostly sensible.
Yeah. Also the barrel's gone, as in barrel hitbox is gone, which is very pleasing for edge
no.
guard.
Wonderful.
Oh, thank God.
Because like as a Marth, I'm just like if I want to edge guard him, I don't want that thing flying in my face and blowing up.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that feeling. Everybody has a Diddy Kong experience at least once.
Yeah.
So next up in the Kong family, we've got Donkey Kong.
Still feels good.
Yeah.
He's a little bit worse, but
Yeah. Then
he's not been touched enough for me to be upset about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aerial's got a bit weakened.
Yeah.
Yeah, his aerials, like, you can't kill as early with him, I guess. His giant punch is not invincible anymore, which is upsetting. But that was super good. And his jab combo, which used to be just jab, Nair, and then it was just kills on most characters, this doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah, and the neutral has been nerfed, but because it's now the knockback is now reduced. Well, the knockback's been reduced, and the forearms are no longer intangible, which is good, I think.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's sensible again.
Yeah, because the neutral air was like ridiculous for getting in, but yeah, other than that, it hasn't really been touched enough to be notable.
It's still
I don't
down.
think-
Donkey Kong's one of those characters, because his nerfs were small, in the grand scheme of the game, he'll probably be better.
Much better.
Exactly. The characters who are touched less are probably going to, rise in the ranks. Speaking of those people, Falco has been changed to basically be like Melee Falco, I think,
gonna be
personally. From
super-
what...
Super good, this patch.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he feels more like Melee.
Recovery actually works now.
Oh, yeah. The up B being buffed to be exactly like it is in Melee is very, very nice. Very pleasing.
Yeah, you can kill with it, no?
Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah, I forgot about
It's a hype way to kill.
that.
Does it have a better knockback now, then?
Must do if it's able to kill, because I don't think it was able to kill in the in 3.02, unless I'm very much mistaken. I don't think it does. I don't think it did in 3.02, but I think it might do now if he's, because he is, from what I've heard, he is very much like Melee Falco, and I saw someone play him today, and he looked very, very, very good.
Oh, I didn't notice this. They've made the POW change to down air. Down air will sweet spot duration decreased from 10 frames to 2.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
to 4.
Oh.
4. So he's got POW down air as well,
Oh.
which is nice.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the changes as well, like being in the POW melee scene, like we don't find them that annoying, but like if you're an NTSC player and you're seeing the changes to Falco and Fox, you're gonna be like, this feels terrible.
Yeah, but we're just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
This seems normal.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is where it should be.
Yeah.
So, moving on to Fox, who is...
That's something that we pretty much agreed on.
sorry.
Like in the back room, like a lot of the PAL stuff for Spaceys, for example, was just better design.
I can fully agree with that. PAL Spaceys are just... Then, you know, they're not super broken. Like, I think I'd argue they are in NTSC, where it's just like up B is like the most ridiculous recovery move ever, and up smash just kills you at like 70. But
Yes.
Falco down air in NTSC is crazy as well.
oh god, yeah, good.
Just
Lord.
like every time you get flicked out by it in POW and you think you have like you get sort of another chance to recover, that's just you dead in NTSC. You don't get that slot.
pretty much. So yeah, unless anyone has anything else to say about Falco, I guess we'll move on to.
Yeah, on to Fox. So Fox up smash, lots weaker.
Oh yeah.
Pal up smash.
Still good, PAL up smash, but
Yeah. Again, more
Lots
sensible.
centralizing.
Again, he's just more like Pal Fox, isn't he? Pal Melee Fox.
Yeah,
I think.
they've given him melee up B as well.
Yeah. Other than that, no real changes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, there's
So-
Dacus mentioned from earlier.
Yes,
but
his
yeah.
Dacus is
Yes.
very good. Very, very good in neutral as well to kill.
So does his Dacus have quite a lot of range on it then, because of his good dash attack?
Yeah, it goes pretty far, decently far anyway.
Okay, that's cool.
That's cool. But
So overall, because everyone, like you were saying with other characters, like because everyone else is worse, he's just gonna.
he's going to rise again, yeah.
But yeah, it's if the game's moving towards melee, then there's only one way Spaceys can go.
up into the stratosphere. So next up, arguably the biggest change to PM in 3.5, Ganondorf.
The biggest character change, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest character
In terms of
change.
design, yeah, I think he's probably like one of the few characters that's got a complete overhaul of how they work.
Oh yeah, and I think that was good because in 3.02, if he was off stage, he was dead. I've got to remember one memory from one of the monthlies we had up here at NEC4, which was when a Ganon player named Manon was thrown off stage by TFU's Fox. Fox went off, shined him, went back onto the stage, then just went off for the fun of it and shined him again and killed him. And it was like, well, he was already dead. There was no need. He was already dead. But,
Every Fox player worth their salt does that.
oh, of course.
He stands a bit more of a chance now. He'll probably still get hit by the bit, but he can like
I
use
think
his new float to play around a bit, dodge stuff that comes up to get him.
that's the thing. I think his float's going to be a massive part of his game now because now it allows him to go off stage a bit and have a bit of fun. Not much off stage, but a fair bit off stage.
Yeah, it's
And
still quite limited. Like
It's
I
still
thought it was
very
going to be sort of Mewtwo float, and then it doesn't last that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I thought it was going to be like Mewtwo or float.
But he stays up there forever.
My worst case scenario for it was Peach's float, and I would have been like, "That's it, Ganon's gonna be the best." Like that was the worst case scenario. But it seems to be good, and I think one of a few notable changes of for me personally is his nair. Like his nair being changed from 7 to 5, it feels so much faster.
Really quick.
Yeah, really quick. And I know this isn't like massive in terms of Ganon, but his taunt kill is the coolest thing ever. Like the hitbox on it is like right over his head. Saw him kill someone on a platform with it today. Hilarious. It looks so awesome. Like, and
Just if you're getting rid of Warlock Punch, you need something.
yeah, you need something
Like-
just ridiculously cool. But yeah, like I think he's going to be a pretty strong character in this game. Like I think that giving him a float and giving him a pretty fast neutral air, which allows for a good neutral game, I think that's really going to help the character as a whole in the neutral game, and just as in the whole sort of spectrum of PM 3.5 in general. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
About reflected, did you just say?
Oh, the
Yeah,
flex is going to be useful.
no. Well, no, he hadn't talked about the neutral B.
Oh, right. Yeah, the reflector though is also cool.
Yeah.
It works when he's facing away. I don't
Does
get why. Yeah, I tested it. I tested it. Literally, I'm just like I just had Samus charge a neutral B, fire at him. He's facing the other way, and he's just like, nah, bye.
That's
That's
often the
awesome.
case with reflecting hitboxes. I think it might also be the case with Mario's cape because the reflecting collisions are quite large often.
Yeah, it's and the startup is it's interesting because it's working like a parry. Like literally, if you press B when the thing hits you, then it flies back. So in terms of startup, like I think the fact that you don't have to read it, like you can do it on reaction as long as you're not in the air, is
Yeah.
You can use it in the air.
Well, no,
You can use it in the air, but
but
you have to undergo the startup of the
Yeah.
float first.
Oh, okay.
because you can only cancel it out of you have to float and then do it. So so it's not going to be you're going to have to read a bit more in the air. Whereas if you're on the ground, then literally you can just react with it, and I think that's going to make it actually quite usable. Because if you see something come your way, you can just press B and it'll fly away. It'll fly back. So I think it has the potential to be quite a useful move for him.
I don't think it'll completely solve
Oh
him
no.
being ruined by projectiles, but it gives him a chance at least.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so moving on, unless anyone else has anything to say about Ganon at all? No?
Character's
the
much better. He's cool.
General animation rehauls to just make him
Oh,
feel
yeah,
more like
yeah.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Because I worked on quite a few of the animations as well as my man Fireball Stars. Shout outs to him. He worked on the forward smash.
The forward smash looks so dope. Like, just the slugging you in your jaw, it's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, and then I worked on the float, the new rolls, and the back air.
Alright, cool. Anything to say on those? Or
I'd like to say the new role is awesome. Actually.
yeah, it does look pretty cool.
I found that really hype when I was watching it. I'm like, also, I just think I'm very interested to see what tech people can come up with the float, because if even just going by like the trailer, it looks like it'll be a very good tech chase mechanic.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what I was
They
thinking.
sort of
Alright.
call out they're going to do a get up attack, float above the get up attack, stomp.
That
Yeah.
was so cool.
So, I mean, I feel like Ganon's going to have... Because Ganon already had, like, an interesting tech chase game because of the side B.
Yeah.
And I feel that with this, like, he's going to have a really good tech chase game. So, because he's going to have mix-ups. So I feel like he's going to... I'm going to make a sort of a... I don't know, well, no, it's not really... He's not Vortexy at all, but I just sort of... Well, maybe he is. I think that he's going to be one of those characters that basically will want to get a knockdown and then can probably
Mix up
can
from it.
will probably mix up quite a lot and actually do very well from it. So that's I think the float's going to be really good for that. Apart from the the really nice offstage stuff and what else. So yeah.
Oh, also his jump squat's 5 frames instead of 6. So again, like with Bowser, where he moves around a lot faster, except it's better because Ganon's Waveland is super sick.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this now he moves around even faster.
God, that's so awesome.
His wave landing's so good now, and he really just moves around super good.
Yeah, actually, I think I was when I was with him in training mode, I was thinking this is quite easy to move around with, because I guess he's
Yeah.
got the same jump squat as Marth now. So
Yeah. He
that
just moves a lot faster.
yeah,
So-
he's gonna be a really good character to watch. I'm looking forward
cool,
to seeing
yeah.
Ganon.
Yeah, so moving swiftly along to Ice Climbers. Now, as Ice Climbers main in Melee, playing them in PM today, it again, like I said, I think I said to Lorenzo earlier, they do feel a lot like the Melee counterpart in terms of movement, because their wave dash feels so much smoother. Like, where is it? Their spot dodge increased their ISA, the IASA on spot dodge increased from 24 to 26, just makes them feel so much faster. Like, they
Just
do-
go over what ISA is for people who don't know.
It's interruptible as soon as. So basically, when you can interrupt a move.
Yeah, they do feel like really, really quick, and they just feel really, really nice. But other than that, I don't like some of the changes to smashes. They forward smash, for instance. Nana's hitbox no longer lasts a frame longer, so that means I don't know. That's slightly weaker. But to be honest with you, people have been saying that their handoff game is easier. I have seen no evidence of that today. I played them and I was going for multiple handoffs, and I just landed about as much as I would land in Melee. So I feel like when people say they've made them easier, they've made them more.
If they've made it so you can hit them as much as Melee, that's easier than what it was before. Before they didn't work properly.
Exactly.
So again's good. Another good change is Nana spot dodging on the same frame as Popo does, because so many times before, like you want to spot dodge something at the last second, so you dodge it because you normally would, that's what you do with any other character. Then Nana gets bodied for it.
Yeah,
she just gets destroyed.
That is the problem.
Her being able to actually dodge at the same time is really cool.
Yeah. And also, just quickly, the alternate costume is adorable.
Oh yeah,
adorable.
super cute. But yeah, nothing else really happened to them, I don't think, to be honest with you.
No, I was surprised actually. The character is overall better, but they haven't done anything drastic with them at all.
Exactly. So
that's like it's kind of like what Jordan was saying with Jigglypuff. Like everyone else everyone else being worse. They're definitely not made worse in any way.
Ices I think will be almost viable now, just because everyone else is again by proxy.
Yeah, still wouldn't play them in PM though. You're gonna be honest. All right.
Maybe some people will pick them up, like now that they function a bit more like the Melee.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, moving along to Ike, who it was quite interesting for me to read these changes and to see that nothing really has happened with him either. To be honest with you.
He can spike off the down taunt. It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
It's one of the most disrespectful things in the game.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I want to see someone land that in a match.
Tom, your GP, you've been called. Right.
Also, his side B, the attack isn't as safe as it used to be.
Oh really? Oh
yeah.
Oh, it isn't, is it? Oh okay. It
has a later interrupts.
All right, cool. Yeah. And,
although.
Oh, right. Yep.
I'm just saying that like that's not too bad because most of the time when you're using the side B you want to cancel out of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it'll punish you more for not doing so, but it'll just mean that you have to learn his mix-ups better.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, you can't wall jump as much from out of that side B as well.
Oh yeah.
Another thing that's like the character can't stall as much whilst he's recovering, so he's a bit easier to edge guard.
So moving on then from Ike to Ivysaur. Ivysaur's had some interesting changes.
Ivysaur's been nerfed hard. I don't know why.
Yeah, there are a lot of changes, and all I can see is numbers going down mostly.
Not anyway.
It's not just that. Like so much as. Yeah, I mean, Ivysaur's just okay. It's weaker. Solar Beam is more. There's more charge time. Less damage on everything. The down air recovery got nerfed. I was doing it. And it's like it's rubbish now. I mean, it'll still be sort of usable if you fly to the corner. But to be honest, like
does it just pop you up less each time, or does it sort of decay each time you do it?
It doesn't even decay. It's popped you up way less. It's just bad. It's basically just a way to stall your fall now. You can't if you try doing it across the stage, you just fall and die. The recovery is rubbish now.
Fair enough. And yeah, she's just overall Ivysaur is just going to be weaker, I think.
Also, a character that's going to be stupidly hurt by the tether recovery changes.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right,
so I think that's way worse than like not being able to stall is not that bad in comparison to just.
Where is the love? Is all I can say. Also, I'd like to know. I mean, I don't know if John, you might have some insight on this, but who came up with the idea of the final smash? Because if I'm brutally honest, I don't want to be. It's just like it's not the most interesting thing I've seen. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure actually, because I'm not 100% sure, because we just wanted something a little more simple for Ivy's final smash.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fair enough.
I mean, it's only a final smash, isn't it? It's just like
it doesn't have the same like spectacle as other final smashes.
No, exactly. I mean,
if you like that though, like you think of Peaches, as she dances and Peaches fall from the sky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's just like I think the other two are better. Just that. I'll say that. Probably because it's a final smash. I just want it to look stupid.
That's also something that I could refine later on, actually, just to make it look a bit more.
Yeah, what would be cool is like if Ivy's like solar beams in the final smash were like huge or something. I know. It sounds really like it's just
Like
it's
just ridiculously massive. That'd be pretty cool, actually.
yeah, because massive blasts of energy look awesome. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
But
So
yeah,
can't heal off of inanimate objects, which is good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
It was
that's the other
really
thing.
annoying before. You'd never take an Ivysaur to Yoshi's Island just
Oh
because
my
she just like gets a full solo
Yeah.
beam off of the Shy Guys.
Yeah, it's I quite like the new up air as well. The up throw as well. Actually, that's quite cool.
So, moving on then to Jigglypuff. Yeah, as we said, no changes, just going to
Almost
get better as
nothing.
people get weak. Get
Forward
worse.
row now intangible. Forward roll intangible on frame 2 instead of frame 3. That's a big deal.
Oh,
changes it
wait, yeah,
massive.
it is.
Massive deal. Oh my
It's a
god.
huge change.
Yeah, I know, right?
Alright.
LA characters. Now, Alex, I think it's time for you to do some talking because
Oh.
we're now going to talk about Kirby.
Kirby still feels good. Like, but all the stupid stuff that everyone moans at me about before is basically gone. The character's really sensible now. Up tilt isn't just like a spammy move that you just get 0 to 50 combos on spacies. Down smash being faster is really nice. I think that's a nice little buff. Down throw's garbage now. Well, not garbage, but it's not like before when I play Kirby, like the only throw I use is down throw, just because it's so much better than the other throws. It's a guaranteed tech chase situation, whereas
Yeah.
now it's not as much. Inhale is not as good anymore. You can't just Kirby
Thank
side all
gosh.
the time. Yeah, I didn't really use it anyway, but like a lot, like Chudat probably single-handedly got this move nerfed.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
Like, everyone hates it. Nobody likes the camping at the edge Kirby style.
Oh, the dash attack got nerfed as well. That's quite nice.
Yeah, it doesn't. It feels like the aggressive parts of it still kind of do the same stuff, but you can't act out of it as fast, and
Oh, you can grab it. That's yay. You can grab it.
grab you out of it as well now, which I think a lot of people weren't aware of before. That it was grab and vulnerable.
Oh, really?
Like they just try to grab it and then you hit them anyway, and then they get upset.
Fair enough. So,
Yeah.
Kirby overall, better or worse, or exactly the same?
Like the character itself is obviously worse just because stuff's not as good.
But more. I
But
don't want to
'cause-
say even or fair, but like
A lot, like all the moves that were fair are still fair, and all the moves that were stupid are not stupid.
Fair enough.
And I think that because recoveries are worse, Kirby's offstage game will just be like good enough to take advantage of that.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So next up, we're going to move on to Link, and Link again. All I see are numbers, and I
Boomerang is no longer a character.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was so stupid before. His old earlier it only did 6 damage. I was like, yes, this is what should happen. It shouldn't do like 18% when you hit them with a
Oh
boomerang.
yeah. Okay, that's good. That's very good then.
What I'll say is that I think like okay, the boomerang and the Zera have been nerfed. I'm very thankful for that because that was the stupid stuff about this character. But otherwise, like it feels like his combo game has been slightly improved. The fact that the down air now puts them in tumble. I mean, the down throw puts them in tumble. And most of it and a lot of his moves have reduced knockback, mean that I think he's going to have quite a strong combo game now. Just because of that, like it'll mean the character's going to have to stop. The way the character's played is going to have to now be much more aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Also, we were talking about the glide toss changes earlier. I'm not sure how the game calculates how far a glide toss sends someone, but Link's glide toss feels a lot worse. Like,
Yeah,
Toon Link's is like a little bit worse, but Link's one feels terrible.
It's possibly because he's heavier. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I'm not, like I said, I don't really know how it calculates how far someone goes from a glide toss. Like, Peach's glide toss doesn't send her anywhere, really. But
Yeah.
Link's used to send him really far, and now it's sensible, I guess.
Fair enough.
And shout out to the Ocarina. The Ocarina is
Yeah,
awesome.
the Ocarina taunt.
That's pretty cool. Can't lie. All right. So next up on the list.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about Kirby, his cutter dash now only leaves you with 1 jump.
Oh, right.
Yes, actually, I was going to say that as
And
well.
you
I
can't
think.
dodge out of it,
Yeah.
which is, again, sensible, but upsetting.
It means that his aerial game has lost something stupid.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's it.
So, on to Lucario. Now, Lucario is an interesting case because his extreme speed, which is up B, obviously, and because the ledge grab boxes have been changed, that means that sweet spotting requires a lot more specific angles on it, which I think is a very interesting change to his recovery, because that's a significant nerf. Well, not nerf, just an interesting change. So that's going to really affect his offstage game and how he's going to get back.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any comments on Lucario.
I'm sorry, I'm not a Lucario player, but I was just wondering, did anyone was the forward B a spike before? Or was it a meteor?
The super one was a spike. The normal one was a meteor.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I think that's the same, isn't it? Like it's still a meteor.
Pretty much, yeah.
But otherwise, like, okay, there's not too much of a change. A slightly better shield size. Charges carry over. That's quite nice.
Yeah, except for his down B, which the 3 frames of invincibility were removed. So now you can't just like throw out unpunishable hitboxes. Now that's been moved. So that's going to be a significant change as well.
It's not as powerful and neutral anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And also the crawl tilt is also. I think the crawl tilt was. I'm gonna assume was like introduced just so it can like make up for that, because it can be cancelled into smash attacks, from what I've been told. And it's also good for shield poking from afar. And also his shield size being increased, I think, is a useful thing as well, because that's going to help him in the long run as well.
Mario before was kind of like a glass cannon, and now having a bit like a slight defensive option is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his shield not being complete garbage.
So, moving swiftly along to Lucas. Now, Lucas was... Yep.
Nerfed, yay!
Everything's nerfed.
Everything is just...
Everyone hated this character before.
And I know exactly why, because he was kind of dumb.
So fun!
He was
I was playing around with him a lot towards the end of 3.02 sort of lifespan, because I was getting tired of matchups that I couldn't win with Kirby because I'm a scrub. But this character's broken, so I just like pick him and get these free wins.
Yeah.
Changes to, I think, overall very good. Like not all of his moves are combo moves now. Like his up tilt having like a weak hitbox is super nice. His up throw being nerfed is great for the character on the whole, because it was so centralizing before.
I'd also like to say that I feel that I like to put a shout out to one of my mates, Roshi, who's a London Lucas player, great player. But one of the problems I think he's going to have is that he liked the double jump cancelled forward B approach into grab. That's going to be so much harder now because the
hit lag's not as much on that side B.
Oh yeah.
So exactly. Like it's going to be a lot harder to get to confirm off of it.
Yeah,
basically.
It's still a good projectile. Like
it's really good, but
it's still usable.
Oh
but
yeah, of course.
It's not as like ridiculous as it was before.
That way I was playing him before to get 3 wins was just spam the ice block until one hits, get a hit confirm grab, combo as much damage as you can off of that grab.
Exactly.
Rinse until you got them at a percent where you can just up throw them, and that strategy's now gone. Like before, like you wouldn't really bother going off stage that much with Lucas, just because generally you'll kill them off the top first. So now you'll actually get to see a bit more of how cool the character Lucas is, I think, instead of this lame character that just kills off of up throws.
Oh no, good Lucas looks so good because it's a really technical character, and it just means that hopefully any Lucas mains are gonna like have to just tighten their belts and just be like, I'm gonna have to go in and put in a hell of a lot of work, and hopefully, and I think the character will still do well if it's just not a stupid character anymore.
Yeah, like his Tether recovery, he might actually use his up B a bit now. Whereas like
it was so dumb. It was so long and didn't make any sense for his tiny snake to just stretch to twice the length.
Yeah, that tether was kind of stupid. It was like,
yeah.
It was better than Olimar's up B.
That was kind of that was a kind of
depressing.
What was the thinking behind changing his neutral B, by the way, Jordan. Like they've doubled how long it takes to charge. Like obviously, so you can do it in between stocks, but not when you've spawned back from stocks, I guess.
I'm honestly not too sure. Because I didn't actually follow Lucas too closely. Because I mean, my main role is following more of the art side of stuff, and there are only a small handful of characters that I followed quite closely in terms of how they were developing.
Okay.
I guess I'm a bit of a scrub like that, but yeah.
Fair enough.
When I see it now, it's like
Can't follow everything.
you can still get the charge when you've killed them, but before you could charge it on your invincibility. So when you got killed, you could come back with this charge move and be unpunished for it. But now you should be fine. Like now you can get punished if you try to charge it on your way back.
I guess it makes it a bit more like Donkey Kong's neutral B, in the fact that you're probably going to have to make more effort in basically getting little charges in between in the neutral, or like in between punishes and so on.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's because I'll speculate it was because the things like the OU up B was, the charged up smash. I mean,
So good.
the OU up smash was so strong that a character shouldn't have access to that
All
often.
the time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, you can't wave dash out of his down B as early, like his little magnet, so you can't just like shield pressure them by holding the magnet on it.
Oh
Wait
no!
for
What a
shield
shame!
poke.
What a shame!
Wait for it to shield poke, they go pinging back, and then you just wave dash out and follow up with whatever you like.
Yeah.
He works a lot better now.
Yeah.
That was-
Also,
So stupid before.
I was going to say also that he probably has lost it because the down air's got a bit more lag on it now, that because he used to have like an infinite on Zelda. Another
floaties
sort
in
of
general.
on floaties he could down air pretty much. He could down air infinite some of them, I think.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah,
It used to work on Jigglypuff as well, I think, if I remember correctly. It worked on like a fair few floaties which had like bigger hit boxes.
So is it just by like you just use the first two hits of the down air and
short hop dare essentially was what it like infinited. It was
Okay.
All right.
so they'll ever lost that now, which is obviously
Good.
the best.
So next up on the list of changes, we've got Luigi. Other than a few artistic choices to make some of the fire and some of his options just green, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, and of course his missile, his side B, you don't have to. It just you can store it now by it no longer depends on the shield input during attacking part of the move. You can just save it. I think you can just save it by spot dodging. I can't remember. I think that's how you save it. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows, because I think that's
I have not played. This is like one of the only characters I didn't play around with today.
Jordan. Anything?
I can check.
Oh,
Let me just.
cool. I think it's just. I think you save it by shielding. I think, or shielding or spot dodging. It's one of the two. It's like I think it's.
I know
saved.
before you could press R and you could keep it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But I think it no longer depends on that. So I don't know like what choice that was. I don't know.
No longer depends on a shield input during attacking part of the move. I don't know. I'm not sure what those words mean.
Yeah.
Like,
I understand the words individually put together into a sentence. I don't understand.
Alright, the character
Yeah, I'm a bit
hasn't
confused about it as well.
The character hasn't really had that many changes.
I guess I guess the character must just feel like, more like Melee because of the wave dashing and all that. Just makes him.
Yeah, he'll benefit a lot from that. Everyone else, again, same thing. Everyone else is worse. He's hardly been changed. He'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Overall, he'll be more in line with the rest of the cast. Whereas before, he was probably one of the bottom 10 in the game, I'd say. Like,
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
nobody
as well.
played Luigi in 3.02. Unless you really, really like Luigi.
All right. So on to Mario now. Mario in 3.02 was
Very dislikable.
easily
Mm-hmm.
arguably one of the most dislikable characters in the entire game. But yeah, I can see that some of his fireball is now no longer ridiculous that you couldn't hit him out of it. It's now the IASA has now been increased from 35 to 41, which is great.
Not spammable.
Yeah. Definitely not spammable. Down tilt no longer has invulnerability, so you can just hit him in that. Yeah, he's been made a fair bit worse.
Yeah, some nice little changes, like the fireballs do less damage. You can't, when you keep someone and they're shielding, it doesn't do damage anymore, which is great. That was so annoying before. Like, if you're shielding, you should be safe from damage and shield pokes. Like, if someone just doesn't move on your shield, they should get something for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nice. His wall jump works a bit differently from the up B.
Yeah, you can only really do it at the start of the up B now, I believe, as opposed to
the window's been
tight. It's now
tightened. Yeah, so it's not going to be as it's going to require some execution. That shouldn't make too much of a problem really for players.
So next up, we've got Marth, who has barely been touched, except for that ridiculous grab range has now been reduced.
Yeah, but it's dash grab range, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
I'm
even
just
then,
point that out.
Here's an interesting fact though on Marth's dash grab. It was longer than Yoshi's dash grab, where he puts his entire tongue out. It was longer than that.
Fair enough.
Him as well. I know it was in Melee.
Yeah.
In Melee, his standing grab range is further than Yoshi's neutral B,
which is hilarious.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
But
it's
other than that, he's been other than his grab and his like turn grab no longer having a sort of like inward hitboxed. He's pretty much going to be the same and even better because, as we said,
he can edge guard now. Yes.
Yeah, he can edge guard.
That big jab 2 change, active hitboxes 4 to 9. Huge change.
Oh yeah.
And now we move on to a character that in the first off the battlefield we all said that we all wanted nerfed.
This character is not so good anymore.
Meta Knight, definitely not ridiculous anymore.
We need to get Jolteon on this because he plays Meta Knight.
One of the most. I think he's been nerfed a lot more than most of the characters. Like
he really has.
Meta Knight I feel are worse than the changes to Lucas. Like the character feels really bad to me now.
I played him today because I used to main Meta Knight for a short period of time when he was still kind of ridiculous in 3.02, and this character feels so much different. Like you have to actually put thought into things.
You have to really, really work for hits.
And that's exactly the thing. That's exactly it. You really have to work for it, and it is. Oh my god, it is weird. This character feels so much.
Should we just start with his down air is no longer as
drilled.
ridiculous as it was. That down air was so good. Now it's
a good edge guard
version of the Brawl. Yeah, it's basically similar to the Brawl one now.
Which it was a really good move in Brawl though.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculously good in Brawl, but not good here. Not good here.
No, sadly, not when there are proper combo games. No, you can. It's not as good an option. Yeah. And also, like he's more like Brawl Meta Knight in the fact that if all of his Bs are gonna leave you. He can leave you in special fall, and the down B leaves you in special fall, which I think is quite nice because that was an irritating
the down B to down air combo, down air to down B before was pretty silly.
Yep. That's dealt with.
His tech chasing's not as good anymore. Like
his grabs has been really nerfed.
Yeah, his down not good, and his dash grab is like he doesn't lunge forward, reaching that grab. He just sort of does a little push.
Yeah, this character is not as good as he was in 3.02.
What else? He only has 4 jumps now, which feels like a sort of soft fix to the.
Oh yes, they took out a jump. Yeah.
Wait, they took out a jump? That's why I was down so much. Okay, fair
yeah,
enough.
they took out a jump.
I was
like.
Okay, fair enough.
His up air juggle game was ridiculous, and now his jump, he's got one less jump, so he can do one less up air on that juggle, which is nice, because up air juggles with Meta Knight before were so boring.
They were very much just juggles for days.
And he can't glide as far anymore. Like after a while, his glide just stopped.
That's fair enough, I guess.
So I'm guessing that's to stop him from, the stages where like there's no wall underneath, you can just sort of go underneath.
Yeah.
He can't do that anymore.
Yeah, Meta Knight players are really going to have to work for it now. They are going to have to work so much harder.
Yep.
I think there's nothing's been nerfed that you wouldn't have said
needed to be nerfed.
But you're not like any of these moves like, oh yeah, this isn't something that should have been nerfed. Like everything there was like very, very good before.
Yes, agreed. So moving along then to another person who, in the first episode of Off the Battlefield, we said needed nerfs, Mewtwo. And
Yep.
I didn't play any Mewtwo today, and I didn't really see anyone playing Mewtwo today.
Well, I had a
Hover
little stab.
shenanigans aren't nearly as ridiculous anymore.
Yeah, because he can't teleport hover. Thank
Yeah.
God.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean, he's just in general. I mean, one of the biggest nerfs actually is the decreased length of the tail. That makes so many of his normals worse.
The decreased what? Sorry.
His tail
is now shorter.
It's 15% shorter. So basically, like his back air, his down air, his his back, yeah, and his down air and his down tilt, his tilts.
It's ridiculous.
All,
Such a good move.
yeah, all of his tilts, or any move with the tail has just been nerfed because the hitbox just gotten reduced. So that's like in general, like the character is weaker. I mean, he's lost his jank. He can still act out of teleport, so he's still got cool things he can do. But
that's not as much of a problem anymore though, because he has his graphic for reappearance. It says here appears a bit earlier. So you can see, he's going to teleport here and react to it.
Whereas in 3.02 it's like, where's he going to... okay, he's over... okay.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. It's supposed to go, okay, I'm no longer alive. But yeah, I think he's still going to be usable. He's still definitely going to be usable. But like, some of the things that like make him ridiculously good are now just sort of like, okay, we're going to dumb these down a bit. Like, not take it away completely, just sort of dumb down to make them less retarded. Right?
One thing I do like, I mean, I don't know if it's actually going to be useful, but I like the fact that he can now teleport through platforms.
That'll probably be useful, I think. That'll be useful, like, I think on a mix-up game. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Next up, Game & Watch. I think it's just generally just changes that were like... Again, Game & Watch, another person who just got little tweaks, to be honest with you. I don't see anything that massively...
Yeah, he still feels samey.
Yeah, it's Game & Watch, so you can't really tell.
Neutral B is fast fallable now, which is
that's good.
Potentially really useful.
Yeah, that'll probably be useful.
This character's gotten buffed. I mean, not ridiculously, but I think the character's... I mean, obviously he's got proxy buffs as well because everyone else is worse, but I think the character's going to looking much more viable now.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Wait, remember 9 Hammer got nerfed?
Yep.
Oh, did it?
It doesn't do as much knockback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's
knockback.
Thank you. Yay.
That's so upsetting.
No.
But 9 Hammer's like the hypest move. You can't nerf the hypest move in the game. God.
Wait, when you've been hit by enough 9s, you start to like...
It's been hit by many.
Yeah, I've hit by a lot of 9s. Shoutouts to BAPs, Mr. Game & Watch.
Bob.
I don't know how many 9s, how he can get that many 9s, but yeah.
Shane is secretly RNGesus. Right, on to Ness. With Ness, I think one of the more crucial things that needs to be talked about is PK Fire, because when you got hit and shield on that and it activated,
was so annoying. Which was stupid.
So irritating. So annoying.
You get out of it as the float. Like, you could smash GI out of it with floatier characters before.
Yeah.
But if you're a fast fall, you were fucked.
Yeah. Like, it was just so ridiculous, that move on shield. Like,
because it's like the only that's the universal thing against projectiles. You shield them, but you can't really do that against Nessus because he's instantly pressuring you if you shield it.
I think that's a really, really good option. But in that terms, they also gave it a lot more damage. So when you do get hit,
so it's more rewarding on hit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't last as long. It doesn't last as long, so it doing more damage per hit is okay.
Yeah, I guess.
But it doesn't last anywhere near as long, so it doing a bit more damage for those few frames where it's hitting is fine.
Yeah, I think honestly, I don't think the character's lost that jank, but otherwise, I don't think he's.
PK Fire was very.
The PK Fire was the biggest.
It was
the most irritating part of his game. That was the biggest part of his game that needed to be changed, and I'm very happy that it did get changed.
Yeah,
it's good.
So now on to Olimar. Lots of numbers here. Lots of things I don't really understand.
All right, Jordan,
jump in here, please, for the love of God. I don't know what I'm talking about. Go for it.
All right, to basically sum it up, he's a lot more normalized now. So his Pikmin are basically his flowered Pikmin are slightly less rewarding, but budded is slightly more. Yellows are actually good now, so they're faster.
Cool.
Whites aren't as damaging. His damage overall has been nerfed. but
Right.
it's a lot. Keeping track of his Pikmin is a lot easier as well. He has this like light on his antenna, which makes
Yeah, I was playing
track
around
of
with that.
Pikmin
It's
much
really,
easier.
really useful to know.
And
Yeah.
his forward smash is a lot better. That was one of his worst moves. And yeah, overall, he's been like, I'd say he's been a bit nerfed, but only in his damage output. Like, he's a lot more well-rounded a character now. Because before his damage output, if you could get a grab and start a punish, you could just go up smash, up air. And his punish game was pretty absurd and it was kind of dumb and easy. But now you have to work a bit more for his punishes and it's...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
The Pikmin being a bit more easy to kill is quite nice as well, because before they
Yeah,
couldn't
they
really
live forever.
They were hard to get rid of.
Mm.
Oh, other big change. He starts with 4 Pikmin instead of 3.
That's
And he
good.
respawns with 2, which is amazing.
That's really
It doesn't
good.
mean you have to waste your invincibility plucking Pikmin. You
That
just
is-
get back
that
into
is
the
really
game
good, yeah.
straight away.
Yeah, that's
The
pretty
character's going to be decent because, again,
good.
everyone
Proxy,
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to Peach. Only thing that's been really changed is the up B to make it more like melee, air animation, adding the initial dip, landing goes into special landing instead of up B landing, and Parasol comes out a frame faster. So overall,
Right.
Peach is exactly the same, going to be better by proxy, yada yada yada.
Boring. Move on.
I don't think I still predict not many people are going to play her because
Nobody's going
she's
to
just
care.
not very good.
She's not interesting. She's
Well,
not.
well, no, it's not that she's interesting. She's just still not very good.
Yeah.
Like,
She's
It's-
good in melee because, well, it's kind of sweeping, but like most of the characters at the top of melee are sort of fast fallers, and she punishes them really hard. Whereas some of the top characters in PM are floaties.
Peach in melee makes me sad because I'm a nice Camus player. I just get
Peach doesn't-
sad.
Peach
Aw.
doesn't
So
have too
sad.
much against. Peach doesn't have too much against floaties.
yeah.
Like
So
Peach Dittos and Peach versus Jigs in melee are like,
So unbelievably boring, by the way. Can I
yeah,
just point that
and
out?
Jigs is one of her worst matchups, if
Yeah.
not the worst.
but I'm not sure. I don't think we'll see a lot out of either of
No,
these two
definitely
characters
not.
even after this patch. Really.
Okay, on to Pikachu, who's up next. One thing I've got to comment on Pikachu is the quick attack cancel. Now, initially when you saw quick attack cancelling, you know, up B and you could do the second one, you could jump out of that. Now they've changed it so you can only do it off the first jolt. I've just got to say,
I like this.
I don't understand it. Like, I didn't really understand. I don't understand the change because it's like okay, fine, but it's kind of like why? Like, what's the point? I don't understand it. It's like
It's a bit of a recovery nerf because before, like, you just get on stage when you do a quick attack cancel. So, like, Smash Ball's the worst one. Like, you do a quick attack to the platform as you're coming back. Do one off that, and then you get to like the edge of the stage. When you do another one, and then you get to the middle of the stage, you've got stage control. So
Fair
not
enough.
being able to sort of get back to the center of the stage is a big change.
fair enough.
Like, he'll only be able to get back so far, and you can still keep stage control over the character a bit more easily. Like, before you could still punish it, but now you don't even have to worry about that option. So he can't just take the stage from you whenever he likes, which is great. I think
Yeah.
it's a bigger change than the text does justice.
Fair enough, but yeah, it was so hype seeing Hofi do all these like quick attack cancels at KOTN. Like, it was so hype seeing all that, like using it as shield pressure and stuff. Oh well.
Not anymore.
I
Yeah,
guess not.
sadly not.
Alright, on to Pitt, who also has a lot of numbers on his page, and I think overall he's been kinda nerfed.
Nerfed into the ground.
Yeah, I've heard
Still
that he's
okay.
not as great.
Yeah.
Character still feels okay. Just nowhere near as broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things I saw is just the arrows have a lot more hit end lag, which is
Great.
great. It's so nice because he just like when you're off stage, you're just gonna shoot arrows, not anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, that'll be good then. So
He's
yeah,
still got his
arrows
combo
to
game
fall
though.
in.
He's still got the stupid combo game.
His down throw's not as good though, so he can't get it started as easily. His down throw
Okay.
before was
He's gonna have to work for the
Arguably.
combos now. He's actually gonna have to work for it. It's supposed to just go down throw and juggles,
Yeah.
up B,
Down-
and you're dead.
his down throw before was arguably better than NTSC Sheik down throw because it did a similar sort of angle, but the follow ups he could get was so much more ridiculous. Whereas now I'd say it's more in line with Pal Sheik, where it's all you can get. I'm not sure if you can get a guaranteed follow up dash attack, but you can.
Can
You have to at least tech chase.
Yeah, just
Fair
just
enough.
fine.
That's fine. Yeah, I think I've got to agree with all the pit changes. To be blatantly honest with you.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. Oh, the other thing actually is that the down tilt's been nerfed.
Oh,
Was it down to that good before?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty strong move.
Okay.
Or maybe, I'm not sure. I mean,
character I played too much with.
fair enough. So on to Rob. R.O.B. I don't think any massive notable changes. I think this will be actually
not
character
really.
fix.
Yeah, not really. Apart from his, you can't air dodge out of the his up B and side B
Oh yeah,
anymore.
because his recovery was pretty decent, and that was like
Yeah.
kind of silly. But other
Also,
than that,
on the final boost, it has a little sort of like fireworksy flash below it, so you know it's the final one, and then you can go punish. Like
Oh, that's
it's
fair
good to
yeah,
it's another thing for the other player just to be certain.
yeah.
Like, oh, this is this. He's done this many.
Yeah, it's still a strong recovery. Actually, it's just not. It's lost anything that made it really strong, like really stupid. Because being able to air dodge out of it is
all right. So Roy is up next, and I think one of the more interesting things is his up air landing lag has been increased slightly.
yeah.
Good.
The combo
Good.
game the combo game has been not significantly it's going to be a lot harder to combo with him because of that.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was his B&B combo, and it's not gone.
Such
but
a
it's,
brain dead combo though. Just they go a button, you down tilt them, time to punish with 50 up air.
Yeah.
exactly, and sadly he can't anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
I was surprised. Like, I know Professor Pro's been saying quite a lot on the Smash UK Facebook that he thinks this character is one of the most underrated in the game, and
He's a
I
very
agree with him.
strong
Like, I
character.
was really surprised that Roy didn't get more changes in this.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think he's really good as well.
Yeah.
He's not like that. That's the biggest thing. I think that to be honest, I think that was the only really stupid thing about him. I mean, like otherwise, he's just a good character. Like there's nothing really stupid about him. He gets gimped. Like he's not got the most amazing. His recovery is good because it's quite hard to because it has a nice big hitbox to get back with. But otherwise, like, he's got a better walk speed. Like I don't think he's been nerfed as much. Well, maybe he has.
Again,
because,
I think to be honest with you, like the only real nerf or change that's going to be like massive on him is going to be that up air, the landing lag. Which I think, other than that,
Yes.
it's just
Also, nice down air spike.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. He's got a spike. He can clank with the forward B, which is interesting because that was something that Marth has never had. And I always notice that because I'm just like, I can't do that to projectiles. That's annoying. And in Melee as well, like it didn't clank with anything, and that's quite interesting to have that because that's obviously one of his fastest things he can throw out. So it means that he's got a nice clank, which is quite good.
Yeah.
And he's got a better walk speed. Like he's got a spike. He's still going to be a really good character. He's just going to require more thought to play, which I think should be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So next up, we have got Samus. I think just little tweaks to her. I don't think there is anything that is like massively changed on her except for a tether, his Zaire.
Yeah, the character having
Nowhere near as good.
is going to hurt her quite a bit.
Yeah, the Zaire is
then
nowhere near
Luigi
as good.
is
And
cool.
the Zaire, after KOTN seeing Scribble use that Zaire and seeing Esam use the Zaire in America, it's like, okay, that move looks kind of decent.
Kind of decent.
It's
a bit like very
Yeah,
generous.
exactly.
It's really, really good.
I'll be honest. Like I feel that the changes to Samus are. I love the fact that Samus has this beautiful new ice moveset. Shout outs to, I mean, Jordan animated a lot of that, and they look awesome.
Oh yeah, they do look super cool.
I feel like the PMDT is just like, please use our new beautiful ice set because they've just it looks like basically the F smash has the fire up smash has been nerfed and the ice F smash has been buffed.
Just boosting the confidence of the ice. Like, look at the ice. Look, we've done this thing. Please, and that is it's fair enough because the ice is very, very cool.
Although her ice fair has been nerfed. The interrupt frames.
has
on that
it?
are slightly
It has,
later. Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so it's I kind of I respect that because that's a move that it's really, really strong once you have some percent on them. Like it kills very, very heavy. So that's fair enough.
Yeah, and it's just like, other than that, his Zaire has been greatly nerfed. Like the knockback on the Zaire has been reduced from 60 to 20. which I think is pretty good.
Yeah. Also, I mean, a couple of the fire moves, like the fire fair. I always like to when I played a little bit of Samus in Melee. I always like to use that as a quite a good safe sort of defensive option. And the knockback's been reduced, so it's gonna be less good as a defensive option basically.
Yeah. So on from Samus to Sheik again. Not much has changed other than the down special. Now the IASA is now from frame 1 to frame 7.
Oh, she transforms so much faster.
Yeah, insanely quick. And other than the dash attack being adjusted to being melee again, animation ending being decreased by 9 frames. Again, just left the same because proxy, she's gonna be good again. Essentially,
she's got a bit more. She'll have a bit more of a game back, being able to actually kill people.
I just
before, it was a bit tough.
Just before we move on, I one thing I forgot to say about Samus is that the Samus ults are awesome. They're so awesome.
Yeah, the 3 new.
Oh yeah, they're very very cool. Forgot to mention
the 3 new
sorry.
suits.
Yeah, I love the white one. The white one's so sweet.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we felt Samus because she's had so many different suits. We felt she needed to have those suits.
Definitely. That was a good shout. Very good shout.
I'm still waiting on some a hunter palette swap though. I want Silex in this game. Then I would play Samus. That'd be just hype.
All right. So on to Snake, and it looks like Snake has had some
Big nerfs.
Yeah, big nerfs. I guess they must have seen Prof versus Rolex. I guess.
I think they might have just seen Prof, to be honest.
Yeah, this character's clearly broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just before I just want to say that if you look at the VGBC final tier list and you look at Snake's position,
wasn't it CT's tier list? Didn't CT do one?
Yeah, CT's final tier list.
Sorry, CT. I'm sorry, wrong one. CT's final tier list. If you look at Snake's positioning, Snake is what? He's high tier or something.
Yeah.
He's really pretty high up. I'm pretty sure that's just because of Prof.
I think
it's just because of Prof.
I would not doubt it at all because Prof is
pretty good at this game.
He's pretty good. Pretty good.
He's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he won
He's
some
alright.
match. He won a bit of money from it. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. So overall, the character is the C4 is not as strong, which is nice.
Oh wow.
Even though the character needs C4 because otherwise he struggles to kill.
Game.
He can't use the C4 with those ridiculous wall tech recoveries anymore, which is nice, I think.
Not nice to the player.
Before where you drop really low, you do the C4, you tech off the bottom of the stage, and you do another up B.
Oh, that one, yeah.
You can't do that as
that's
much.
Gone.
I think that's completely gone.
I would say, I think it is gone, yeah.
His fair is no longer completely ridiculous. You can't die from center stage from getting hit by a fair.
Oh, well.
But it's the hypest thing.
Sad times for Snake mains.
And up B out of shield is no longer invincible, which is great.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's very, very good.
That's really good. Yeah.
Okay, so overall, Snake is just generally a more...
A bit worse. He'll still be fine.
Yeah. Prof will find a way to make him work.
Oh, yeah.
So, on to Sonic. Now, I've got to say, because we've got a Sonic main up here, and he was playing Sonic today, Sonic seems so much slower. You can't roll around at the speed of sound. You're rolling around at the speed of 2 snails on top of each other. It's
I think
Sonic's still quick.
Yeah, I think Jordan should have a talk here because.
Yeah, Jordan, go for it. Jordan.
Alright, so I already know that a lot of Sonic mains are going to be upset with this character, but I still think he's genuinely really good. I mean, the main change was to his recovery, which is now way, way worse, but it's still a pretty decent recovery. It's just that it's no longer stupid.
Yeah, I think it needed the nerfs that they got.
Can't spam out homing attacks anymore.
You no longer have 65 options off stage to try and get back.
What was the actual number? Was it actually 65? So I would not be surprised if it was actually
number of options.
Probably. Because you can
number of
spam
options.
homing attack, you have
Oh my God.
jumping out of side B, you had the spin shot, his up B obviously went really high and
Down there.
yeah, exactly. But now homing attack goes into special full. You can't jump out of side B. Spin shot isn't as far. His up B has increased startup, so it's less of a get out of combo free move.
Oh, that's great. That's good.
And his down air has less. His down air has more landing lag, but apart from that, he still has his on stage game is still really powerful.
Fair enough.
But Jordan, they weakened the hitbox on Supersonic.
Does the
The character's over.
It's done.
for the
Dream
the
is
home
dead.
attack special fall thing? Does that mean you can't do that fox ladder where like you just keep homing attack the Spacey until he dies? Because like, you're not going to be able to be back, so that's gone, isn't it? Basically.
Oh no, the thing is though is that neutral B only goes into special fall if it misses, if
Oh,
it doesn't
right.
home in onto anything. If it
Oh.
homes in onto something, then you're fine.
Okay.
Fair enough. Right.
Also, the down B change is quite big. He doesn't have hitboxes whilst turning, so it's much less safe.
Fair
okay.
enough.
But it's
So-
still a good move.
So less mix-up potential then.
Yeah, it's not as stupid. You can't do the stuff like Wizzy was doing, where you down B into the shield, turn, and then jump, and then go from there.
Yeah, that stuff was
Or you
kind
Yeah.
of
just got
weird.
shield pressure
Yeah.
before you've got out of it.
Yeah, the dive kick's been nerfed a bit as well, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Alright, cool.
but it's okay. There's Jet Set Sonic.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
makes
was
everything
gonna say,
better.
so cool.
That is a pretty nice skin. So next up we've got Ninja / Squirtle Squad Squirtle, who has had interesting changes to say the least. I
He
think.
he can't turn in the side B.
Yeah, which is
That sucks for him so much.
yeah, because
Yeah.
that was a lot of his game. To be blatantly honest with you, his side B and getting mix-ups off of that was kind of crucial. So I'm
Yeah.
very interested to know why the backroom decided that those needed to be changed around. If those were like you don't really see many Squirtle players. I don't think I can't name you.
Well, have you ever played?
You
the
don't
Squirtle?
really.
Have you ever played Squirtle though?
I tried to initially play Squirtle,
No, but have you ever played against one?
I've played against Prop
I
Squirtle
have.
and it's really
It's
upsetting.
very, very, very irritating.
well,
It's
fair
really
enough.
irritating. The whole game just felt so silly.
But that's
Fair
that's
enough.
why the
Character
side B
design
was essentially gutted so much, but so it's not a central part of his game.
Oh, that's
So
fair
that
enough.
it still has its use, but it's not like Sonic had the same issue where he was all like down B. But
Fair enough.
now Squirtle has really really amazing movement options because of how slippery he is, and he's got the little pivot thing.
Yeah.
But so now he'll be more about using those other movement options as opposed to just side B.
Yeah. Fair enough. So Squirtle overall mostly weaker, to be fair, but
I think it'll be, like John said, it'll be interesting to see with some other characters as well what people do with now that they have to use the other moves
Oh,
a
yeah,
bit more.
yeah.
Like you'll have to do them more creative with most of the characters.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because the character's still got good moves. It's just he's not got his jank.
fair enough.
Oh, the final smash is really cool. It's my favorite.
The Water Armageddon.
Yeah.
That just sounds instantly
It's
just
hype, it's
awesome.
hype,
It
it's
also
hype.
instantly just sounds amazing. So on to Toon Link then. Toon Link seems to have gotten better. from
Still
what I
feels
remember.
Dude,
he feels so good now.
no more sex kick, man.
No, but his new one's really good. You can cross up shield with it, and you get the forward hit as you go across it, and then the backwards hit as you come through them.
Wow.
Cross up
That's
like
there
20%.
is ridiculous. Or it
Okay.
feels ridiculous anyway. Maybe it's not as good as I think it is, but his Nair to me overall feels better now.
Wow. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what the
I
team.
mean, I'm excited for his Nair, if you didn't tell.
Is that
Yeah.
the character Jolteon's going to go to then after Meta Knight's been completely gutted?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Jolteon just wanted a reason to drop Meta Knight, and
Just like, please.
Maybe.
Yeah, funnily enough, Jolteon was one of the people that was like behind a lot of the Meta Knight changes. He was
I would be surprised if you play a
playtesting
character.
a
I would
lot.
be surprised, to be honest. If you play a character that's like that broken, you get sick of after a while. Like, why are people getting hit by this? And then you realise, oh wait, this character's kind of stupid. Please. And I guess that's a good mindset to have, to be honest with you. If you go into it instead of going, what can you improve? Like, what could be
how
something
can I keep my broken character broken?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Toon Link seems to be... I guess by proxy, he'll either get better or get worse, but that all depends on time, to be honest with you.
I think overall he's better compared to most of the cast now. He seems really good.
Mm,
I think he was one of the sleeper characters before that a lot of people underrated, despite him being pretty good. And now he seems better. He seems like
we'll see. We'll see what the Tinks can do. Because it's a cool character.
Tether being a bit worse hurts him a tiny bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really as reliant on that Tether as most Tether characters.
The glide toss as well.
Oh yeah, the glide toss as well. But his doesn't, like I was saying earlier, his compared to like Link's doesn't seem too much worse from what it was before. But that might be because I haven't played too much Toon Link.
Fair enough. Again, as time goes on, we'll see the character develop. So
I think he's good though.
Yeah. So on to Wario. One of the massive changes to Wario is his bite. Like, I think that's a massive, massive change from the grab box being huge to it being kind of smaller. But even then, it makes a massive change.
Very happy about it.
Yeah,
It's because you can drift it so much, so it's pretty silly if it's having a huge hitbox and you can just drift it in the air.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous.
So his aerial mobility is the same, right? Because I heard talk of it getting reduced before.
Oh, and they took out the dash the grab mix up.
Yeah, they did. But
again, sensible.
Because that was kind of silly. Like it's just like, oh, he's coming towards me with a side B. I shall shield. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Free mix up.
Yeah.
Just by virtue of the character being designed the way he was.
Yeah. So no more of that.
I'm not sure if his new grab feels more usable though. Like, it feels like more natural because it's the same as all the other grabs, whereas before it was a bit odd to use. I felt. But that's probably because I wasn't used to the character.
I think Wario is overall mostly the same, except for those like 2 changes that are taken out. To be honest with you, like I've seen no evidence of him going to be getting any worse or any better. He's just going to sort of, I think because of proxy, he'll stay where he is sort of now. Like he'll still be really good and he'll still be really viable, but like some of the options that were initially kind of stupid and ridiculous have now been sort of taken away from him, which I think is really good.
It'll be a bit more sensible now.
Yeah.
It'll still be good though. I mean, it's good. He's got a lot of good tools.
Yeah.
So I think the character's still certainly viable.
Yeah, definitely. So now, moving quickly along to Wolf, who has had some very interesting changes, considering his projectile now goes almost full screen, which is very, very good for Wolf.
His character was good before, and I think I was expecting him to be a character, where everyone else is getting these nerfs, that he'd get quite a few nerfs as well, just because everyone else is getting them, but he's hardly been touched.
I would wager that he's going to be one of the best in 3.5, because he is just ridiculously good. Like, he's really good. He's a really good character.
You scared of Diabound, man?
Yo, I saw Brandon Diabound playing today. I'm instantly just terrified. I'm instantly terrified of picking PM again. Like, ridiculously scared. Like, he was 4-stocking DCJ. It was awful. Like, today was a massacre, and just like a foreshadowing of what's gonna come in the coming like year of 3.5. It was, oh god. It's
we might see Prof we might see Prof play this character a bit more because this is his secondary, and
Wolf is really good.
The true main.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Snake really is a pain in the ass now, then he might
jump ship onto the Wolf ship.
I doubt it because his Snake will still be disgusting because it's his Snake.
He's committed so much time to Snake. I don't think he's really going to change.
Yeah. But whenever he brings out the Wolf when he feels like it now, it'll be just that little bit scarier.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I would like to say about this blaster, though, is that when I was playing with this in my chat earlier, some of the people were thinking that it's actually not as, I mean, it's good, but like it isn't as good as a sort of standing there pressure in the sense that before, because it was so slow, you could just sort of have it near you.
Yeah. I suppose.
As like a more of a sort of a safety option. So now
that makes sense.
So it's like it's going to be a good offensive option now because it's closer to a Falco laser.
Yeah.
But
still nowhere near though. Falco's laser is a completely different.
It's not a Falco laser, no. But it's going to give him. It's going to change him up a little bit, I guess, in terms of how the laser's used.
It'll change your pressure a bit more. Maybe.
Yeah, it'll change the pressure.
It'll be a bit more of a pressure laser instead of this slow safety projectile, like you said.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But the character should be played heavily aggressively anyway. So I think that's a good thing.
And he's going to be an amazing aggressive character. Like as a whole, he's going to be amazing. But well, that's what I think anyway. So moving along to a character who is
also his up B has more startup now, so it's a bit easier to gimp him.
Oh, fair. You got a bit more chance to interrupt it.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's good. That's a really good change. So moving on to a character that is less good than Wolf, Yoshi, Yoshi, the changes on him were interesting, like his egg roll. It takes a lot. Like the exit is now the exit.
That's good.
It's
the same with Squirtle.
He was so stupid before how quickly he could just come out of it.
Like, shield pressure up to.
Yeah, but even then, I think one of the crucial things about that character was he really needed it. Like, to be honest with you, Yoshi doesn't really have many neutral options. And I haven't been told to say this by DCJ. I'm just saying this from a commentator's point of view who's watched a lot of Yoshi over the past 3.02. Like he needed that. Like I honestly do think he genuinely needed that. Like Yoshi's egg roll was only busted because he had no other options in the neutral except for like heavy reads and using like DJC net out of shield. Like he doesn't really have much in the neutral sense, and he's a lot slower now because of that. Because egg roll was like his fastest movement across stage, and being able to jump out of it was very good. But yeah, this character I think is going to be generally.
It could be a bit more like defensive now. Like his options when he catches someone coming towards him are still pretty good. Like his combo game is still going to be the same. Just he can't approach as much as he wanted to before. Yeah. Defensively, he should still be the same.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just see these Yoshi mains like be less aggressive with that egg roll and just sort of sit back a bit more, wait for them to miss space and approach, catch them with an up tilt.
Yeah.
Follow it through from there.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, I think Yoshi is generally like weaker in the offense game, but like maybe stronger in the defensive game, like you said. But yeah, overall, other than that, like no other changes. To be honest with you, I don't think. So on to Zelda, who also
so happy. Zelda before, I think, was the lamest character in the game. Nobody liked playing against a Zelda before. Nobody thought, oh yeah, I get to play against a Zelda next round of bracket. Yes, bring it on. Everyone hated this character so much.
Yeah.
And now you play someone like Beta Zelda, who was just really good. And just you're just stuck.
It's annoying enough saying it's like bad Zeldas, but then good Zeldas are just like, for fuck's sake, why is this character made this?
What did you play him at Air, Jordan?
Did you play Beta? I played a lot of friendlies against him, and it's just like every match he felt in control.
It's frustrating.
Even as Sonic, I felt like I couldn't build any kind of momentum against this character because her defensive game was just that good. You try and start a combo, fair.
Yeah.
You try and pressure, neutral B.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest though, I really like the new Zelda. Like I legitimately really love the new Zelda.
The reason I said that is because now she's cool. She does interesting
The side
stuff.
B is awesome.
Yeah, she's basically Viola from Soul Calibur 5, and it's legitimately one of the coolest things ever. Like I was playing today, and because I have a low tier main in Zelda and Melee, and she feels so much more like Melee. So I'm like, okay, this is really nice. And the side B, I'm like, this is so cool. Like, yeah, get over here, da. And it was like,
yeah.
And it's almost like Palutena. No, not Palutena. Rosalina and Luma in Smash 4, because it's like, okay, I'm going to bring this back, and if I'm getting combo, it's like, okay, that kind of interrupts it a bit.
Yeah, but not as stupid as that.
Not as stupid as
stupid.
Not as dumb and brain dead as Rosalina and Luma, but still really cool. And I really like New Zelda. Like, I really think that's a really nice design choice, having sort of like orb, and it's just, you know, you can mix people up with it. It's really cool. Yeah. And then other than that, it's just like a couple of changes in regards to
the invincibility reduction on that neutral B is so good.
Yeah, that was kind of...
I didn't know this before, but apparently she had something on her forward air and back air called a super sweet spot, where it's like her brawl sweet spot, which is more powerful than a normal sweet spot.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yo, that's pretty awesome.
They got rid of that, so her forward air and back air will now not be as ridiculous as they were before. You don't need to be as constantly terrified of them, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so those are some pretty massive changes.
Yeah, basically, like, Zelda is sort of, it's more rounded in the fact that she's probably still going to be I think she's still going to be good. And I mean, she's just interesting now, like really interesting.
Yeah,
she was so lame.
Yeah, I really want to see what people can do with that side.
I'm totally loving it with Zelda now. Like, I love this character. I really liked playing it today. Like, I can't play more of it.
Her up B's a bit more. It's not as good in the way that you can't wave dash out of it anymore, but also because you interrupt it with B instead, that means you can shorten it when you're using it from the air as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I'm gonna have to look into that now because I didn't know that before. So that's cool.
Do like some before when like you came down from up high, you couldn't really do much with it, and now you can shorten it when you're coming down, which is nice.
Okay, cool. So finally, unless anyone else has anything to say on Zelda,
I'm good.
Nope.
Melee Zelda's nice.
Melee Zelda is cool. So finally, Zero Suit Samus. Now,
I'd like to say this character is going to be good. She's going to be really good.
I've played a few games. This character felt really good to me today.
She's going to be scary.
Yeah, the biggest change being that she now has a normal grab as opposed to a tether grab.
I don't think that's a bad thing though.
It's so good. It's so good. Like she's going to have, and just the fact that like. Well, she's got damage increases on most things, and I think even like a knockback slight sort of decreases. Basically, it means
still got a crazy combo game.
Exactly. No, the combo game's better.
Combo them hard.
It's the combo game's better. Like, aside from the down smash being nerfed, which isn't a bad thing because the down smash is a bit silly.
It was a bit annoying. It was annoying before. I think like overall this patch they've got rid of a lot of stuff that's annoying.
Yeah.
And just
also
with that down smash was one of those things.
Yeah, the Chun-Li as well is kind of gone because
the tap dance. Oh, that's a shame.
Well, sort of, but you can still sort of do it, but because the hit lag, if you sweet spot it, the hit lag's still normal, whereas before it was half. That's why you could do it. Now it's normal, so you can get it, but
you bounce on the head over and over.
Yeah.
Oh, that was super annoying as well.
Yeah, like she's lost her annoying things, and her combo game's even better. She's got a really good grab.
You can't dash out of a blaster anymore, but you kind of needed to change that if you were going to give her a non-tether grab.
Yeah.
She would have been ridiculous.
Oh, and you can clank with the uncharged neutral B, so it's not as irritating a projectile.
Fair enough.
So she'll be less about that blaster and more about getting combos.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how ZSS mains sort of adapt to that now being more sort of combo centric as opposed to like pause you here, tap dance on your head, and then do whatever as a kill move. But it'll be interesting. It'll be definitely very interesting. And as a final thing before we end this off, the future of PM 3.5 I think looks very, very cool. It'll be very interesting to see all these characters who are by proxy of 3.02 who are kind of next to, I don't want to say unusable, but very not viable at all, to now being like, oh, try these characters because they now have these sort of cool things to them, and it'll be, I think genuinely, like the characters obviously who were kind of dumb before have been dumbed down. But the
characters that are really annoying are not going to be like characters like Zelda, like Sonic, like Lucas. The stuff that was just so frustrating to deal with before for a lot of people, especially people coming over from Melee where there's less of that dumb stuff, will be a lot happier.
Yeah, I legitimately I am so much more happier than I was in 3.02 when I was like, right, okay, I don't know what is going on. All of this is just sort of happening.
All this is happening, and I just have to accept it.
Yeah,
guys,
you just gotta like just sort of sit there and go, okay, whatever.
Guys, I think just before we round off, I think we should all say which character we're sort of most excited about now, or at least what we're most excited about.
I'm definitely very, very excited to play more Zelda and to find out the intricate things you can do with their side B and the way you can sort of interact with it. Maybe, I don't know, not get combos off it like you could with the mines in 3.02, which was just so ridiculously dumb. But I'm very interested to see what happens with that character and how people sort of like can develop a sort of neutral with it. But yeah, I'm very excited for Zelda.
I'm pretty excited.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, go for it.
Alright, I'm pretty excited for like all my mains. I'm excited for Kirby. I'm excited for like to play Lucas and not have him be so focused around up throw.
Just not like frowned upon for being like
not feeling terrible for whenever I pick the character. Donkey Kong's gonna be cool, and what's the other one? Oh, Toon Link I'm really excited for as well. I think the character's going to be so sick in this version. The new Ness cool. Overall, he's going to be really cool now.
Cool. John, what about yourself, mate?
I'm still excited for my mains. More Olimar than Sonic, because Olimar just feels a lot better, a lot well-rounded overall. I mean, I know I said before he was nerfed, but he just feels like more of a character now. And then Ganon, I guess. I want to see like Swizzy tear it up with Ganon.
Yeah, I'd love to see more Ganon.
I think good Ganon player is going to be awesome.
All right, cool. And Lorenzo, what about yourself, mate?
I am quite. I mean, I'm happy. I'm very. Looking forward to actually doing some edge guarding once I learn how to do it. I'm very interested to see what the Ganon and Zelda players can do with this new tech, because like I think it's going to be really interesting. I also you could hear I was getting quite hype over ZSS. I think ZSS is going to be scary.
Yeah,
she's going to be so good. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm really looking forward to I feel that like maybe I think she's going to be one of the really good characters. That's my prediction.
I could see that definitely. I think ZSS and Wolf are going to be two of the contenders to be top in the game because they're just so good. Like, really, really good.
Yeah, so we'll see at the moment. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to, more tournaments. How the metagame's going to change.
3.5 as a whole is going to be very interesting to see how different it is from 3.02. That's also something I'm excited for. Like, seeing the difference between the versions. Like, that'll be very interesting to see. Like, we won't see like Mario's and Mewtwo's at the top end of the like results. We'll see them like maybe lower down. And we'll see these new characters who are good in Melee are now elevated again. But yeah, it'll be very, very cool. So I think that's all we need to talk about, unless anyone else has any points to...
Well, just from because we've analysed this from a very competitive standing point. From a slightly less competitive standing point, I'm looking forward to grinding some event matches.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I like that they'd added in
Melee's final event is back.
For Melee.
Yeah, that's cool.
That Melee final event.
Bowser, Mewtwo, and Ganon is going to be super cool. And it's really hard in this one.
That took me a very long time when I first did that in Melee many years ago.
I think it'll be hard in this one, where like Ganon and Mewtwo are actually good.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I think Bowser's
Everybody get your puffs ready. Puffs and Roys ready.
Get your puff ready.
Get them counters and rests.
Yeah.
Crouch, cancel, rest. Can't wait. All right. Sorry.
I'm upset that they fixed timers.
Yeah.
Before when like they were just completely broke the game. I'm actually quite disappointed that they haven't kept it like that. Because they were super fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much, R23 and Silent Doom for coming on. Very nice to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It was a pleasure.
And yeah, guys, thank you very much for listening. We will resume regular scheduling for Off the Battlefield in 2 weeks' time when we have episode 3 of Off the Battlefield. But thank you very much for listening to this special episode. Very much 3.5 centric for obvious reasons, because 3.5 is a very big part of the UK scene, because we've got so many people who play it. And seeing the changes are very interesting. So thank you very much for listening. And yeah, take care, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much.